Welcome to Project F-115. This is part 2 of the refresh. Link to prior videos below if you want to get up to speed. We're jumping right into it with new transmission fluid. Make sure you always loosen the fill plug first so you're not stuck with the dry transmission if the drain plug doesn't open. This is an 8mm hex head for the fill plug. And same for the drain plug. So apparently stick shifts are rare enough now, nobody could tell me what kind of fluid to get. This is the only thing they had on the shelf. It calls for 2.1 quarts, but I think we're just gonna add until it comes out. That's one. Well, we are not getting overflow, but luckily I do have more oil laying around. Still no overflow. I'm going to combine the remains of all 3 bottles. That way I can get more in. And we'll see if we can get it to overflow. Okay, there we go. It's starting to weep out now. We'll call that full. I'm sure that's exactly the right torque setting for that bolt. And there we go, fresh transmission fluid. So refreshing an old car, brakes should definitely be on your list. These rotors are only about 18 months old. They have almost no lip. We still have about 80% wear left on these pads, so we're not going to touch them. I'd love to replace the fluid, but I just tried to loosen the bleed screw and it's seized, and I don't want to have to replace the caliper. The brakes don't fade, they work great, so we're just going to leave the fluid for now. Another thing I'd planned on doing was replacing the air filter. I'd never seen this before, but Ford actually supplies it with a lifetime filter. This box doesn't come apart, so whatever filter's in there is supposed to last for the lifetime. What they do is provide this little resistance gauge, so as the filter gets dirtier and dirtier, this little yellow ring should slide this way. There we go. It's barely out of the green, so once it hits the red, you got to replace this whole unit. But we're not even close to the edge of the green. And the car runs great. I believe there's no resistance in there. I don't know what this is made of, but it's working great, so we're gonna leave that alone. All right, next up is spark plugs, and just like the brakes, they work really well. So if I feel like the threads are seized in the head, I don't want to risk stripping them. So we'll just leave them alone, but let's see if we can break them. That's coils are out, and that is some filth down in there. I'm gonna have to not touch anything. I don't want any of that getting down on the plugs. All right, let's see what kind of luck we have. Think it's moving. It's a little creaky, but I think we're good on this one. There it goes. That's 4 plugs in. There we go, 4 coils. Next up is coolant hoses. We got to drain the old coolant and remove the cap of the overflow tank to allow air in. So a drain plug for the radiators on the back side, lower left corner, right here. It's also an 8mm hex head, and they provide this little pipe to attach a hose, which I don't have anything that fits, so we're just going to make a mess and let it drain out of the underbelly pan. So in the lower right corner of the radiator is the return line. That's its clamp right there. We're going to remove this one first. So the other end of that hose is really buried. I don't know if you can even see it. It's back in there. So to get at it, we're going to remove this hose here and pull it out of the way and see if we can get my hand in there. So I'm still having trouble getting my hands in there. This is the power steering return line. We're going to go ahead and remove that, which of course means we're going to introduce air to the system, and we're going to go ahead and drain out any fluid that's in there. Here's the reservoir. Like a lot of cars, it actually takes ATF, automatic transmission fluid, instead of power steering fluid. I'm sure it's 205,000 miles on that too, so we're going to replace that. There it is. That's about the smallest size my hands could fit into. But it's out. And here's the new one. I guess that's a match. It actually looks bigger. And honestly, I might have been wasting my time replacing this one. It looks in good shape. It's flexible, no cracks. But we got the new one. Let's get it on. So the clamp's locked open, and I cannot get my hand in there. I think that was it. Yes. All right, let's get the bottom. Here we go. That's one hose in. So to get this second hose off, we're gonna have to get this airbox out of the way. This lower hose needs to come out of the way also. Crunchy. There we go. Easy. This one's really crusty though. I think I'm going to clean that up before we put the new one on. That's much better. Power steering line attached, and some fresh ATF power steering fluid. Time for coolant. Yep, it's just past the full, but we got air bubbles coming out. We'll let that sit for a second. We're back down below min, so we're going to add some more. Well, that's right at max. We'll check it again after we run it. Well, I'm thinking we're going to hear some power steering whine. Let's see. Nothing. No groans, we're okay. So the power steering and the coolant are both at the full line. We'll check again in a week after we've driven it, but right now we're good. And the wheels are back from the tire shop. But before we get them on, I got one more thing we need to take care of. Alright guys, you remember this sound? Everything from axle back is just sitting on the subframe. This is the remains of the hanger right here. It's completely rotted away. That's not bad. Job well done. Well, that was satisfying. Look how shiny it is. Those tires are 65 series instead of 60, which was stock, so they're about 1.5 inches bigger in diameter. They look beefy. I feel much better about myself after taking care of this car, and I can't wait to put those new tires to use this summer. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and check back again for more videos soon. Thanks for watching.